After a season of high gas prices and record profits for oil companies, the first hearing to talk about Governor Newsom's proposed price gouging penalty is set for tomorrow. 23 ABC's Vania Patino brings us the latest on the potential policy and what local key players are hoping come out of the hearing.
The proposed windfall tax on oil companies will require them to pay back excessive profits. And as we approach the first hearing for this proposal set for Wednesday, those who oppose the bill say it's not tackling the right issues.
It's bad policy. We've been dwindled down to an industry with very few refineries, with half the refineries in California that we had 20 years ago.
Chad Hathaway, president and CEO of Hathaway LLC, is talking about state policies that have limited oil production due to environmental regulations, which he says have made refining gas more costly.
Their cost to operate has gone up, I want to say 5 to 10-fold in the last 10, 15 years because of cap and trade, because of all the other air pollution control. We all want to reduce pollution, but to use it to subsidize something else at an excessive rate hasn't made a heck of a lot of sense from the very beginning.
Hathaway points to the high cost of operating a refinery in California as one reason for higher gas prices. And high gas prices are at the center of this special session. Governor Newsom citing record high profits from oil companies like BP making an $8.2 billion profit in the past year, or Chevron's $11.2 billion profit, among others, as a reason for the legislation. Documentation showing the price gouging policy would make it unlawful to charge excessive refiner margins. If oil companies did, then the California Energy Commission could charge the company a penalty, and then that money would be returned to Californians through the price gouging penalty fund. But Hathaway, as well as others who oppose the bill, like the Western States Petroleum Association, say it does not address the right issue, which they believe is supply.
So whether it's permitting bans that are essentially happening in California, it's very difficult to produce more oil in Kern County, for example, than it was just years ago. And when you make it tougher for oil infrastructure to be built in the state, to transport fuels around the state, that constrains supply.
Slagle adding the policy will only have the opposite effect.
If you're a company and you're told you're going to be fined if you produce more than a certain amount in these market conditions, companies have a fiduciary responsibility not to exceed those caps. They have to answer to stockholders. They can't break government regulations willingly in that way. So what we could see is that the refiners just wouldn't do that. So then we further constrain a market at would likely be a critical time when it comes to costs, a lot like we saw last fall.
That last fall is when those record high profits were recorded for oil companies. That is why the proposal also allows state agencies like the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration to have more power to review gas costs, profits, and pricing. Meanwhile, Slagle adding Wednesday's hearing will show finding a solution to the situation is a lot more complex.
There are different things that all feed into what we pay at the pump. There's no one simple answer. There's no one bad guy. And so I think it's good that there's different policies up to discuss. So maybe we can get some real answers for consumers rather than the political stuff that we've seen the last few years.
And again, that special session on gas is set for Wednesday, and we will bring you those updates as they become available. In Bakersfield, Vania Patino, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
And because most of those who oppose the bill talk about supply being a big issue, Delano's Democratic Representative Jasmeet Bains has proposed a bill that would require half of all oil refined in California to come from within the state by 2035, which would require increasing domestic production. We spoke to her just moments ago about the bill and how this impacts the state's environmental goals.
The biggest thing is calling out hypocrisies within our own system. If we want to transition towards cleaner practices, shutting down our practices, which are the cleanest in the world, and then taking oil from places that destroy the ecosystem in a very unclean way is a very hypocritical thing to do.